Dr. Sean here, and I want to go over an exciting report of a client. Okay, he's a former NFL offensive lineman. So he's retired from the NFL now, but I'd like to be able to share what he's done in 2 years because super excited. Stay throughout this whole video because you're going to want to see his changes throughout his MRI and his changes in his face. Okay, so watch this to the end so you get that information. And I'll share a little bit about working with me if you like this particular approach, because this is what we do for our clients. We're really proud of it. We're getting this just fantastic results. We're getting the best results in the world, optimizing out because, hey, it's because we use the best targets. And because we use the best targets, we figured out what are the best strategies to do that. All right, so what we're going to do, the client's given me his permission to be able to share his images to encourage you, okay, on the internet, social media, and with other people. So his name is Lindsey Knapp, twice to the Super Bowl, so a two-time Super Bowler, offensive lineman, great guy, and boy, did he crush it. Like almost all our clients crush it. They just get rid of all their visceral fat. So we're going to start with his scan of his heartbeat. Before I do, I want to show you a couple pictures just so you're aware of why heart fat is so bad. So most people have a very large amount. This says obese, but this is really not accurate. They have a very large amount of fat around the heart. But before you get that, I want to show you this rendering. It shows how the arteries are on the outside of the heart. A lot of people don't know this. I didn't know this till I went to medical school, that the arteries travel on the outside of the heart, not inside the heart. So they have to provide blood flow from the outside. That's great for a heart surgeon that wants to replace, do a bypass, but it's not good for this fat that forms around the heart because it goes right to those arteries, causes heart attacks and disease. So that's a mechanism that this happens. Well, those are pictures, they're renderings, but let's look at some actual photographs of hearts on autopsy. So this is probably a young person in a motor vehicle accident. The heart has now been removed, autopsy, but you can see, or even in this young person, there's fat forming around the left anterior descending, the right corner artery. In this cart here, there's even more of that fat, but this is still pretty atypical because almost nobody has that little bit of fat. And honestly, almost nobody has that a little bit either because sadly, the people, almost everybody who comes to me from the age of 45 on looks like this, is completely encasing their heart, encasing it, okay? So there's no open areas. The fat is all the way around. And you need to ask yourself, my God, how can the heart beat well if it's encased with this big chunk of constricting fat? It can't. And the doctors don't even know about it. Heart surgeons cut through this and ignore it. They don't know anything about it. It's crazy. Oh my God, it's like a nightmare. Somebody wake me up. But instead of a doctor telling you to fix your heart disease with a statin, why don't you go and say, how about all that fat around my heart? Shouldn't I get rid of that? And I'll just tell you what she or he will do. They won't know anything about it. Try me. Try me. So you want to get rid of this fat. Now, good news is, I'm going to show you. We can get rid of this fat so fast. It's the fastest fat, damaging, inflammatory, deadly fat. We can get rid of it the fastest. Okay, so let's get into Lindsey's scans. We're going to scan top of his chest where his heart is, and let's go ahead and begin. Before we do though, I'm going to use my own heart exam as an example. So my right lung, my left lung, right in the middle is my heart, and I got no fat, no white stuff around my heart scan. So I want to be able to show you that, hey, 61-year-old Dr. Sean's got no fat, and you shouldn't have any either. So Lindsey, his scan when he came to me, age 52, different story. Okay, so look at his right lung, left lung, and the middle of his lung is his heart. But look at that thick. Look how thick that is. Look how thick. I mean, honestly, it's about as, if you combine both sides, it's about as thick as his heart. So his heart could not, this is why you get short of breath walking around. You know, you got all this disease. You can't sprint. You can't work out. because you got this big, huge burden of fat constricting your heart like a binders around it. So his was radiographically proven complete. He lived 52 years. Nobody ever showed him this until he came here, had his whole life changed when he did a consultation with our medical practice. But it's not just his heart fat that left, it's the inflammatory fat that's around his aorta. So that inflammatory fat around his pleural space was dramatically eliminated too. But all the fat in his muscle. See, muscle is dark. And look how much he eliminated his fat in his muscle besides his fat around his heart and fat around the aorta. So we see this consistently. You get better in one of these fatty inflammatory fat depots. You get better in all of them. All right, now let's do his admin. Okay, so the big kahuna. This is what everybody wants to look at, their visceral fat. So Lindsay, 2022, November 2022, age 52, when he came to me, he's just almost all visceral fat inside. And like so many people, just deal with it because it starts when you're a toddler and just continues on. And you just don't know about it because you don't get scanned, and doctors aren't trained in medical school. They're not trained in radiology. You got to come to our practice. We trained in it ourselves. We discovered because we're researchers. And listen, RFK's coming in, Secretary of Health, President Trump's got appointed. I'm going to try to get this to RFK. If anybody knows him or Trump or any high connection, help me, because we're going to get this in the curriculum in medical schools. We're going to turn this country around. Not only that, we're going to turn this world around, okay? So we're going to change that like Lindsay changed himself, okay? 90%, 95% reduction in his visceral fat in those 2 years. Right on. Right on. This guy got enormous change. But it's not only that. Look at his back muscles here, filled with that fat. Now his back muscles are more lean and they're bigger. So Lindsay improved the size of his back muscles. This is his core. Offensive linemen have enormous cores because they need it for their strength, his vertebral back. But look at the fat separating his core from his vertebral body. Now his core is up against his vertebral body. He's grown. It's increased his core. His muscle core is bigger. And his oblique muscles on the side are bigger. They got less fat in them. And look at his little thin abdominis rectus. Okay, that's your six-pack. I told him, you got a six-pack here, age 52. You know, how high the mighty fallen. You got a six-pack like a little Girl Scout, a brownie. Got nothing there, Lindsay. But look what happens because all that fat shrinks his muscle. They don't let you know that. They just say, you lose sarcopenia at old age. No! You get sarcopenia because this inflammatory fat is going in, releasing inflammatory molecules, shrinking your muscles. I see it time and time again. And then when I get rid of it, they start putting on muscle, okay? That's what happened to me, and it's what happened to my other clients. So I'm going to show you that in this client. Little tiny thin six-pack. Now look how thick it got, okay? Jacking himself because that visceral fat is going away. So guarantee what's going to happen is happening now with Lindsay. When he goes to work out, he's getting a pump on. You guys, 50 years old, go work out. You got nothing. Not like him. Oh, you might tell yourself that you got a little pump, but you got visceral fat and you got the pump that you had when you're 18. Lindsay's getting that on because he's now able to produce nitric oxide, having got rid of all that visceral fat. So he's grown every one of his muscle bodies within this scan, and he got rid of 95% of his visceral fat. That's what I'm talking about. But it's not just that. Look at his legs, okay? Offensive lineman's legs come to me, pathetic. Look like ribeye steak. Worse than that, looks like Wagyu beef filled with all that fatty streaks in him. Now we're talking filet mignon, okay? This is some beautiful meat right here. Tenderloin, way leaner, way better performance now in his muscles, because how good are your muscles going to perform when they're filled with that inflammatory fat shrinking away? So they don't let you know. By the time you're 75, 80 years old, filled with all that fat, you're not going to be able to get your butt out of a chair because you've lost performance in your muscle, lost muscle mass. So now he's grown his leg muscles, getting rid of his dangerous inflammatory fat. He's not going to need a cane. He's not going to need a walker, and he's definitely not going to need a wheelchair. So decades quality living. He's going to be 120 years old, and he's not going to need a walker chair as long as he keeps his fat away and keeps doing these strategies. And they never stop. Some of my thickest bones are in 80-year-old guys who've been doing this longer. Lindsay's only been doing it 2 years, all right? So the longer you do, the better. So let's talk about those bones. And the way you evaluate the bones on MRI is the ratio of fat to bone. Okay, so fat shows up as white. So bone marrow, you know this, it's got fat in it. So it's going to show up as white. The bone is the black stuff. So we look at the proportion of white to black. It's pretty big here. There's a lot of white to black. But look how it got smaller. Do you see those smaller white circles and the black circles got bigger? Want to know why? Because Lindsay built his bone. Age 54 now. He's building bone. Because he's sprinting. He's eating carnivore. He's doing our 48 strategies that we give him. I could give them all away, but you won't do them. So you got to come to me to get those strategies, work with our practice, because can't give it away. If we give it away for free, you're not going to do it. You got to see the disease inside you. So Lindsay did, completely changed his life. It was not a great day in his life when he came because he learned about all this disease. But I wonder how Lindsay is feeling today. Let's take a look at how Lindsay looked when he came to me. Look at him when he first arrived to our practice. Yeah, you could tell. Look at all that visceral fat, that inflammation in his face. Now look at high speed, low drag Lindsay Knapp. Who looks like they can hunt better? Who looks like they could fight better? Who looks like they could save your life better? Who do you want to rescue if you're in a terrorist situation? You know, who do you want to be a leader of your firm or representing you, talking to clients? That's exactly what he actually does. He works with clients in his professional capacity now. So this is a dramatic change that happens from the outside. We're showing how it happens on the inside and your quality of life. Lindsay is building muscle. He's getting rid of disease-causing inflammatory fat, and we could do this for you too. So if you like this, give it a like. Help this content get out there. I'd love for it to reach RFK, President Trump, Maha. Let's make America healthy again. So please, please, don't be somebody who just watches this after all this effort and time we're doing in this and not give it a like. And share it with other people. That will help it get more promotion, get to more people. The more people I get to, the better chance I have to get this real content to people that are decision makers in our government. And I want to just go way past and make America healthy. Let's make the earth healthy, okay? Let's make humanity healthy. We got to do everything for our species. Listen, America has more blame to causing this disease that's spreading all over the globe than any other country. And so I'd like to help fix that. And so please give it a like, share this with other people, give me some comments, engage with me, ask questions. The other way that this gets forwarded on other people. And if you like this, if this makes sense to you, if you're an innovator, you're an early adopter, and you're not saying, so I don't know. I don't know about this fat. Maybe I'll just stick with cholesterol. Don't come to me then. But if this makes sense to you, why are you waiting? For your heart attack? Waiting for a stroke? Waiting for cancer? Get going on this. Click on my website, drseanomara.com. DrSeanOmara.com. Go to my website and then click on the plans and prices, working with me, submit a contact form. You're ready to go, and you can start doing an Ultimate Start program, or you just do a single MRI, and we'll work with you, give you the strategies, and show you what's going on the inside. Or come to me or one of my practices all across the country, and now 13 states, excited, just added Virginia. So if you're in the Washington, D.C. area, love to work with you. Check out my website and submit a contact form. We can't work with everybody. Who do we like to work with? Well, honestly, most of our clients are executives that have background in optimizing companies, KPI, key performance indicators. If they know how to do KPI, you do, you'd be a good client because we just give you KPI. And if you're super motivated, you're a professional, you're a high performer, we'll make you look better, we'll make you perform better. So we're looking for new clients to help spread this across the country, be influencers. So we'd love to have you be a part of that. So submit a contact form, interest in working with us, and we'll look forward to working with you. All right, well, thank you very much for hanging in there with me for this whole length of this video. I'd love for you to pass it on to other people so they can find out about it. If you know anybody who knows RFK, Joe Rogan, or Elon Musk, if you know somebody who knows them, send them this video. And then, hey, Elon, Joe, RFK, Donald Trump, anybody who's a mega influencer, I'd love to do this for you. And I'll work with public figures, A-listers, and from Hollywood, absolutely free. I won't charge it in exchange for you promoting awareness of visceral fat. That's my deal. I'll work for you to help out our country. So please share this video, pass it around, give me some comments. And as always, I look forward to sharing more health optimizing content with you. Dr. Sean out.